Alright, so in theory, I'm recording audio, and as far as I can tell, I am recording full screen video. So we've got some good things worked out from the sorry video that I made yesterday. But I just wanted to follow up quickly and just quickly recount my experience unboxing the Hammerhead Karoo. So I've gotten it set up. I feel pretty good about how everything is working. It's a really nice device hardware-wise. In the box, which I sort of went through yesterday, but just do a quick recap since I've already unboxed it, so that's over. But there was this nice note inside, kind of congratulating and welcoming you as an early adopter, highlighting the philosophy that this is kind of a never finished product, which I also yesterday was talking about, something that I greatly appreciate. I've certainly used plenty of Garmin devices that have not necessarily like end of life, although that certainly happened as well, but really just kind of reach their maturity in what features they have available, and net new things do not typically arrive, where this seems to be at least the opportunity that Hammerhead is laying out, and I'm excited for that. I mean, I know that there are already some things missing on launch. Like I don't believe, and we got about 7 inches of snow last night, this morning, so there's no biking just yet outside. But I don't believe live Strava segments work yet, but I know that that's coming. And interestingly, I noticed that there's no incline measure or sense of altitude as far as feet climbed, which are, I would say, fairly basic features or things as part of my display from the Garmin market that I'm very used to, and hope and expect that that'll come soon. But just to quickly run down what comes in the package. So one of the nice things is you get a barfly. It's a standard pro bar scale mount. There's a little adapter if your bar is of a different size and you need to make this a little tighter. It's got the nice curve, so you can get this nice and centered from your stem, which is always cool. I actually have an Envy center mount bracket already on my bike, and so I don't need that. And actually, the flat sort of climbing bar kind of makes it impossible otherwise. I did put Karoo on my bike yesterday, gave that a quick test, and it basically fills the gap that the Garmin Edge 520 that I had left between kind of where it was out front and the front of the stem, but that's cool. The Karoo, which I have here, is quite large comparatively. So I mean, here's the Garmin 520, and just for comparison, I mean, it more or less fits inside what is the screen. I'll give this a quick start just while I'm sorry, I'm doing this backwards on a device I haven't used very often, but so it'll turn on. It came with about 60% battery life. I haven't really charged it, to be honest. I've only gotten it on the trainer, just sort of checked it out, made sure that all my sensors were good to go. But pairing was super simple. It's very easy to use the touch screen to rename things if you want to have a smart name for a particular sensor, or you want to differentiate between multiple power meters, which I do because I have one that is my Wahoo Kicker on the inside, and I use the Stages left side power meter on the outside. So let's see if I can get this. There we go. Get that to register appropriately. Sorry, I'm obviously not a video pro here. There's a very simple menu system on here, though. Activities, routes, pages, sensors, and settings. There's this sort of quick bar, I'm not really sure what it's called, but on the bottom, right now it says page set 1. If I hit the play button, it's going to automatically prompt for the next step, which is to pick a route. If I add a route, which you can see I've got one kind of on the screen there already, which I had synced the day before Karoo arrived over on the Hammerhead dashboard, which is their web portal that lets you connect Strava, Map My Ride, Ride with GPS. Actually, I guess it's really any web-based URL with a route. And it's where I linked my Strava account as well, so that things can auto update. But you can punch in a URL of a route, see it in the dashboard, actually sync it to your account, and then on Karoo, which is here, you can see that the one from a club ride that was scheduled for this weekend is there. If I pick it, now I'm ready. Sorry, I let the webcam sort of adjust there, but I'm ready. I can just hit start, and it will, of course I have to actually hit it correctly, but it will then take you to the next screen, which is exactly what I've set up. Now, as I mentioned, two things were kind of missing, and you can see the timer already started here, although now it's prompting me with an auto stop, which is a setting that I prefer. I don't know if that's your thing too, but it seems kind of silly to have it like start when you're not actually moving. In this case, I'm just going to hit resume. So I've got speed, power, total time, distance, average speed, and then interestingly, I don't think I set this. I have to actually, and I will go back in and double check, but cadence and heart rate have been, dropped down to the lower quadrant, which is kind of interesting because those are features that I would typically look at with great interest and on a somewhat of a regular basis. I like to know what my heart is. I like to know, or at least believe I've got the right cadence in a particular circumstance. But just interestingly, that's where it broke it out. On the Garmin, which I've used for quite a few years now, typically the order of the things that you set up defines whether, and depending on how many fields you set, whether it's a single band across or a split. And I think I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I had 5 rows, yeah, 2, 4, 6, 7, I think, maybe 9. Actually, I had 9 fields set up on the grid. So I'm missing a couple here for the moment, but that's okay. I will also say that it's been very impressive having the touchscreen back, which is something I really miss actually on the 520 from the 800 that I was using before. And the 500 also didn't have that, but the touchscreen is one of those things that you don't think you really want, but it comes in super handy for moments when you want to make an adjustment to a particular field. Like I'd rather see elapsed time versus total time, or I want to just, and today it's super cold, I want to just add temperature or something to that effect. And so that makes it really easy. I don't know how it's going to work with gloves. I don't, just looking around my room here. I mean, I do have some winter gloves, but I don't have any cycling gloves here that I can quickly test. But for that, there's some really nice, chunky, easy to hit buttons on the side that let you kind of move between. Actually, I guess I could probably hit the back button here. Yeah, there we go. And then move between the screens in this case. And I appreciate that that's probably harder than it should be to see. But the buttons are easy. The screen is awesome. I've on the lowest brightness. It's very high contrast, very easy to discern what's on there. I really like that. There are 2 themes, which I think is like a day to night kind of sensor. I have it set to auto. Right now it's white with black type. So we'll see, sort of curious how that's going to work as things evolve, and actually super curious to obviously even take it for a ride, which I have yet to do. In fact, my first set of rides, just given it's Sunday afternoon, are probably going to be all on the trainer. But I'll be able to have this loaded and ready to go for the morning, although Zwift will probably be the primary keeper, which is pretty much how I was using my Garmin indoor anyway. It's sort of nice to have a backup. Sometimes Zwift doesn't sync to Garmin Connect, and frankly, I don't think Karoo syncs to Garmin Connect for probably competitive reasons to start, but hopefully in the future that will evolve as well, or at least there'll be some sort of cyclical sync kind of capacity like there is with other services today. So you have a base and then it kind of distributes to other things. Anyway, this is a much shorter video than I had intended and had provided yesterday, but appreciate that there was no sound, and it was probably pretty crappy given that it was kind of a top right or top left corner. I had been using XSplit Broadcaster, which is really designed for streaming games and sort of commentating, which I was not doing. I was just trying to use two cameras. So apologies for that. If you have any questions of interest, hit me and let me know what you think.